Hello, I have returned. Welcome back to Explaining Wings of Fire, but really, really badly, and I have no social life. Probably should work on that title. But today we're gonna be talking about Tsunami in her book The Lost Heir. So the recap: what happened was Clay discovered he wasn't a failure, basically, and he's actually a nice person, but nobody likes to be called a nice person. They all like to be called a failure or something. So he's all like, yeah, he. Let's stop talking about Clay now. But Clay's all, what the fuck? I just said to stop talking about Clay. This man looks like Bill Cipher now. So this book's about Tsunami, and Tsunami is very cool. You wanna know why? Because Tsunami is the person in this book. Now, they're kind of arguing about like where they should go. Should they go to like the rainforest, or do they want to all meet their parents and stuff like that? And they all decide that since the river they're in goes to the Sea Kingdom, Kingdom of the Sea, again it should be Queendom. They're gonna go there. They do that, you know. They go there. So they go to the Kingdom of the Sea. They're headed there, right? They're like on the beach, the Dragonettes, and on the beach, this really like these dragons, these skywings, they start coming over. They start coming. Yeah, these dragons, they start coming over they start flying over, and they're all like, "Oh my god, hide!" So most of the normal dragonets hide in the river and the ocean, or in the trees, not the ocean. Other things, most of them hide in the ocean, or fuck it, most of them hide in the trees. But Tsunami is built different, so she decides to hide in the ocean, and she sees one of the skywings, like Sunny being the dummy that that she is. Her tail's showing from the trees, and this this is kind of gamer. Her tail's showing from the trees, and Tsunami thinks that one of the skywings saw the tail, right? And she opens his mouth like he's gonna breathe fire, and ow, that really hurt actually. They get She attacks him, and he's like, ah, and they pin him under a tree, and it's really sad. So, and everyone's like, what the hell, Tsunami? He was just yawning. He was, like, he was all good. We had it under control. You didn't have to attack him. And she's like, but I wanted to attack him, and like there was a good reason for it. But there's never a good reason to just randomly attack a dragon who just had their queen murdered in cold blood by your own people. And yeah, so oh god, mine looks depressing. And they all do that. They all do the thingy. I'm dumb. I can't speak anymore. They all Okay, cool. They all uh they're all mad at Tsunami, and they decide like, okay, well, what's the worst that can happen? Let's just go to the Kingdom of the Sea and do that. Let's chill, like all that, and go over there and meet Tsunami's parents. And so they're going over there, and they're on like this island. So there's these like this archipelago or something. I don't know what the hell they're called. That Tsunami's at, and they're all like, okay, cool. Tsunami's cool. So Tsunami's like, I'm gonna go get some food, and while she's getting food, she finds this sea wing, right? And she doesn't know it, but she has simping liquid. What? Simpingness for this sea wing, and it like she's like, okay, let's go to the surface so we can talk, and it flashes its scales at you at her, and he's like, what? And she's all like, I have no idea how this works. This freaking like sea wing, they go to the top, and she like attacks him again. So Tsunami is just like has an addiction to attacking random people that she meets. And they're like, what the heck? The dragon's like, my name's Riptide. How are you doing? How are you going? And he's like, what the hell is wrong with you? You said you liked me. And she's like, no, I didn't. And he's like, yes, you did with your scales. I said, what are you doing? And then you said you liked me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who decided that, like who goes to the kingdom of the sea and is like, they don't have like they live underwater, right? And they don't have a language. They can't talk underwater. So they totally don't have a language to figure out how to talk underwater, you know? Like they totally are winning, and like that they use so they don't have to speak. So Tsunami's all like, she meets this dragon Riptide, and she's all like, let's go to the kingdom of the sea. And he's like, but you have Mudwing and uh other people, Sandwing probably. I don't know who their allies are. Again, I'm a dingus. So they're like, well, let's blindfold him with seaweed. So they call the queen. Everyone's like, wow, that's so amazing. And that's the story, basically. Everyone's like, wow, it's Dragonets of Destiny, wow. And they're all like, yeah, we're the Dragonets. We're gonna like flex on you a little bit. Just hate to break it to you. So they flex a little bit on everybody. I would too, not gonna lie. So they flex on everybody, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so excited to meet my mother." Or Tsunami is like so excited to meet her mother. So they do. They go meet her mother, and apparently, so Tsunami has like these royal scales, meaning like, her scales are literally royal. Who could have guessed? Everyone's like, wow, she's royalty. But she might not be royalty. And she finds out that she has a sister named Anemone. Anemone kind of whack, not gonna lie. Like so basically, there's this like murderer who goes into the queen's royal hatchery, and is like, Lamau, I'm gonna like destroy the freaking entirety of this thing. Wow. So they do. They destroy the entirety of the thing. But basically, Anemone is only alive because so like the reasoning they think is so like there would never be an heir and the Sea Wings die. Yeah, the Sea Wings, they are dying out with that gamer. Sea Wings, they're they're not gonna have a queen soon, and so the reason that Anemone exists because the queen just like yoinked her from the hatchery and is like, no, you don't get to be here. I'm taking you as my own, and that's what she does. She takes her as not as her own. She already is her own. But like, yeah. So Anemone's also an animus, which is like a magic boy, and magic boys are like magic. Like if that makes any sense to you. They're called animuses. This is literally they're called animuses, and they basically can say to something like, hey, oi, I want you to go over here, right? Like so say um this good is an animus, is an object. So like I can take it and I can be like, hey, you wet floor, right here, you I enchant you to literally die every time I say the word yes. And then you would say yes, and it would literally die. So you can do anything with animus magic, and it's actually kind of overpowered and really should not exist in this universe, but it's also really cool, and I once had a mental breakdown over the fact that I wasn't actually in the Wings of Fire universe, but that comes later because one of my favorite characters caused it. Don't know what happened there with that Australian accent. So yeah, this Animus is like, wow, that's so cool, and they're training her to end the war. And it's like, okay, cool, good for you. She, their instructor, like the one that figures out how to do that, is like shit. He sucks a lot, actually, like really sucks. So yeah, they're training her to use her as a weapon, and this horrible instructor is horrible, and Anemone and Tsunami bond over how bad he is of an instructor and how he sucks so much. It's like that teacher that's just like so stuck up. Like they're like, oh my god, I'm the greatest teacher in this freaking school, but they're really not. It's like that teacher. Tsunami learns stuff, goes to the deeper palace. So there's like the summer palace and the like deep palace, where the deep palace is usually where sea wings hang out, and the summer palace is where like meetings with non-sea wings happen. And Tsunami, she goes to the deep palace, kind of checks things out there, and then she's like, okay, I want to go talk to my friends now and like see how they're doing. And they're like, oh, I assure you, it's doing fine. They're doing fine. So Tsunami on the side, Tsunami's trying to do this detective thing, like find out who's destroying all the eggs. Her main suspect is the one frickin' teacher, and then there's also this like animus person, this like one royal animus from one of the queen's daughters. For some reason, I don't know what their reasoning there was, but it's like a really dumb thing. And basically, that happens. So so Tsunami is all like, wow, I need to figure out who this is. And then this big rainstorm comes in, right? And this big rainstorm is all like big and stuff. They're all like, okay, we gotta get out of the summer palace, the above water one, because it's gonna flood. And Tsunami's like, wait, but what about my friends? Like, won't they literally die? And they're like, no, it's not gonna literally die. They're not gonna literally die. They're on one of the higher up caves, so it's fine. And so then she's like, okay, I'm just gonna go check on him anyway to make sure. So she goes and checks on him, but before she does that, she needs to have a plot moment. And so she's at the hatchery checking out the eggs to see if anybody, like, who's gonna come and bully it. And right as she's like, one of the guards looks away, there's like a statue of that animus I was talking about, and it comes to life and starts like attacking her. And since she's a Sea Wing princess, it doesn't care that she's not in the room. I also didn't give like any insight on Riptide and who he is, but you know, he's basically Webb's son, and nobody likes Webbs because he stole egg. So Tsunami, right? She's like, she has this egg. She fights the statue, beats it, right? Yeah, Tsunami has this freaking whatchamacallit. I don't know what I'm talking about. Tsunami has the egg, like the one surviving egg. And she goes over because she knows that Clay is warm. She she goes to Clay because she knows that he is warm and that it would be nice, you know, the egg would be able to incubate properly and stuff like that. So she leaves it with Clay, and literally the summer pal. So they leave the egg with Clay, and they actually like break him out of uh these chains that the Ice Wings have him in, or that the Sea Wings have him in, because he's a Mudwing and they don't trust him. But you know, he's all good, hopefully. And they're like, wow, yeah, they go and accuse the they're like, wow, the main guard that we don't like, he's a meanie head, and he's been mistreating the dragonettes of destiny. And they're all like, oh, is this true? And he's like, no, of course not. And they're like, okay. And so they throw all the dragonettes of destiny and an enemy in prison. Um, and I'm not joking, that actually happened. They literally just said, okay, and that was it. They just threw them all in prison. They're all like, what the heck? So they're in this, like, prison with electric eels and stuff. And an enemy's in there, too, because she defended them. And so they're all like, Anemone, enchant the frickin' like this spear or something like we found in here that we could use to get out, but we're dumb and we don't know how to do that. To find whoever like did this to Clay, and Clay is all like, "I," and so then an enemy's like, okay, finds a spear. It's dumb instructor man, because he wants to marry into royalty or something like that, and he's like actually like simping for a 5-year-old, which is a little bit strange. So yeah, they throw him into the pool of electric eels, and they're like big brains, so they know that electric eels, they they don't die, you know. They know that electric eels are cool, and they don't. They have to recharge. So they're like, oh my god, it should be safe now. Let's just go in there and like turn this off, you know. And they're like, that's literally not how electric eels work, and you should not test this. That probably was self-explanatory, but you know, just don't. I would not do that. So yeah, they kill this person, and then all of a sudden, oh my god, the Skywings are attacking. Skywings and Sandwings are attacking, and they're like, how are we going to do this? Oh no. So Webbs, who was with them, their guardian, one of their guardians, Webbs was like, wow, I'm an idiot, and I'm gonna just like absolutely actually run out and just like, does that say Sussy Baka? Legendary right now. Um, and like run out into this fight and be an idiot. So he does that, and he gets stabbed by a Sandwing. So the Sandwing venom is like, you know, it's like it's so that it kills you basically. Why are there so many Among Us? Among Us, Sussy. So they do the thingy, right, with the, I wish I could explain this well. So they decide to kill, wait, so they're like, oh my god, we gotta take Webbs to a doctor. And the Kingdom of the Sea people are like, we have no doctors here, we are idiots. And so they're like, okay, then let's take Webbs to the Rainwings, because the Rainwings, they have the venom, right? They're like the venom. And you know, we should do that. We should go to bring Webbs to this, see if they know anything about it. Um, see if they know anything about it, and so they do, and that's where the book leaves off. This was really hard to do with build battle for some reason. I literally don't know why. I didn't know that build battle was so cursed. Did I win? Who won? Okay, fair enough. Actually, I was literally 7th place. I feel so sad now. Okay, let's do our post-credit scene. Yeah.